And Maria, let's talk about the election. I guess your reaction to winning, even though it took a few weeks, but you were the victor, and talk about your feelings about that.
Well, we had hoped right from the beginning that, and we had a good idea that the absentees would be in our favor, but it was a 3 week period of time in which we all learned the lessons of patience. And but we were very pleased and absolutely thrilled at the outcome.
What have you done since the election, since winning the election, to prepare yourself for obviously January when you take office?
Well, we're starting to, I have a transition team, and we're starting to interview staff, and I've met with potential staff members, and I've done that, and I spent the last 3 days in Boston at the JFK School of Government. They hosted an event, it was a bipartisan event for newly elected members of Congress. So we had 3 days worth of policy and education. It was terrific.
One of the things, obviously, and I've written about this, the fact that this was an upset, at least in my view, and a few others share that view, because you entered the race as an unknown, and you didn't have the money that Congressman Maffei had. Um, what do you credit? I know that you mentioned a grassroots effort in your victory speech and in questions since, but talk specifically about what that grassroots movement was that propelled you to victory.
It was people, I think a lot of things happened this election cycle. And it's no mystery to anyone that the mood of the country changed. It changed from the time I decided I was going to run. When I decided I was going to run back in '09, the pendulum hadn't even started to swing yet. It was prior to the health care bill, it was prior to a lot of important votes that they took. So that was one part of it, but the big part of it was the fact that the people in our district were not happy with what was going on and with the health care bill and with the stimulus package and financial regulation bill and cap and trade. So they got involved, and they were the difference in this race. And I don't care how much money you have, if your message isn't right and you don't have that kind of grassroots support. We had a really good ground organization, and these people in the western end of the district, they did a fabulous job just getting the message out with town hall meetings. They had me there a lot of the time. Monroe County was the difference this election. Jim Walsh, I don't think he ever won Monroe County. Dan Maffei won it handily in, I think even in '06, but definitely in '08. So that was the big difference, but it was all grassroots.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about your performance in Monroe County because, just looking in the past elections, as you alluded to, Maffei had won in both '06 and '08, and yet, this time he, didn't even come close to winning in Monroe County. Talk about, at least what you know about that movement was in Monroe County and that organization. Talk about the town hall meetings and so forth that helped give you much success there.
Well, I can go back to the beginning of it. When I was going through the nomination process, I met with the town. It was a joint committee meeting. It was a snowy night, and it was the town of Penfield and Arundecoit. And in that was the Republican committee meeting to get their endorsement to run on the Republican line. And I met a woman there by the name of Deb Esley. Deb then went on to have a meet and greet for me at a senior center in Arundecoit. And at that meeting, they came to be fondly known as the Three Amigos, but three men who took on the town of Webster. And then Deb Esley continued on with Arundecoit, and then we had other folks in Penfield. But that was the genesis of that whole grassroots movement. I remember it like it was this morning, and they just ran with it, and they were so committed, and they were so supportive. They're just great Americans who love their country.
In terms of Cayuga County, it is a small portion of the district, but still part of the district. What will you do to put a greater emphasis on this northern part as a representative?
Well, we've already got good, and as you know, in the election results, we won 65, I think it was 63 or 65% of Cayuga County. I'm from Cayuga County, and we really, I think, worked hard in that area. We had a town hall meeting there. We did a couple of press conferences there. I have since May or June have been attending the Cato breakfast at the American Legion, and it's a great place to meet the people in that northern Cayuga County. It's very good, but we'll continue to work hard. We'll continue to strengthen our ties there. We did door to door in Fairhaven. We did door to door in Cato, and you know, we spent some time there, and we worked hard to get their support.
Discuss the you know, the role constituent services. Obviously, constituent service is a big part of the job, but you know, what you know, how many offices will you have, and what types of other efforts do you hope to engage in that area?
Well, we'll keep the federal office that the congressman currently has here in Syracuse, and we will keep the one that he has over in Irondequoit in the town hall. What needs to be decided is where we'll have one, if we'll share one for Wayne County and Cayuga County, put it in the eastern end of Wayne County, so it would be accessible to Cayuga, and also Cayuga come here to Syracuse. So we'll do that. Constituent service will be my number one priority. What we're doing now is we're putting together advisory groups, whether it's on healthcare, senior citizens, the military and veterans. We'll have these advisory groups of people from the community who will communicate with me their issues and their concerns from the entire region, and it'll be a good way for me to hear the issues and to be in touch with these folks.
In terms of issues, you know, the jobless rate came out today, and it was, I guess you could say, more bad news. You know, how important, or rather, you know, I know that you stress jobs as a big priority when you go to Congress, and it is now. What specific things are you looking at doing to address that issue, especially for the 25th?
I think that the most immediate thing we can do as a Congress is to communicate to the business community that we're not their enemy, that the government doesn't want to create more burdens and tax them more. And we can do that with the extension of these tax rates. That will immediately affect small businesses if we will extend them to all Americans. We need to create certainty. There's no certainty for businesses. They don't know what's going to happen, whether it's regulatory or whether it's on tax for small businesses. And so we need to, as a Congress, send a message to these small business people, because they're the job creators. They're the backbone of the economy in this country. That we're going to do what it takes to help you. We don't want to destroy you. We don't want to see you fail. And we, as a Congress, can do that by reducing taxes and reducing regulations.
On the issue of the tax cuts, you know, I guess the Republicans, they support a position to extend them, you know, completely, and the Democrats, you know, they support focusing more on the middle class part of it and getting rid of the cuts for the wealthier. Do you see, you know, in the past you've said you've aligned yourself with the Republicans' position on that, of course, but do you see anything wrong with what the Democrats support as well, just tax cuts for the middle class?
Well, I think the problem with that approach is, number one, it leaves out all of the small businesses. 50% of small businesses file a subchapter S income tax return. That's a personal income tax return, and they're going to be affected by the extension of these tax rates. They come in over $250,000 for a married couple, so they may fall within that 250 to over $1 million. And it's important that we support these small businesses. Again, going back to the certainty, we don't raise taxes on them. That's what this will do. This will raise taxes, and we know it's never good to raise taxes when you've got we're in the middle of a recession. It's a slow recovery, but we're very fragile. And to raise taxes right now would be the wrong message and the wrong thing to do.
In terms of committee assignments, what committees are you eyeing?
I am eyeing Energy and Commerce because of the tie to healthcare, because of my background in healthcare, I am eyeing the Appropriations Committee, Armed Services, and Oversight. So we'll see. Those are the 4 that I've requested a seat on. We'll see. Those are A committees. You only get 1 committee, Simon.
And I guess my last question for you, what do you have to say to the voters of the 25th district who helped you, and those that didn't vote for you, but now you are their representative?
That's right. Well, to everyone, I say thank you. To the folks who voted for me and supported me, I say thank you. And to those who voted not for me, but who just voted, who help keep our democracy alive. It's very important. They were a part of the process. And as we go forward, I promised during my campaign I would be the voice for the people of upstate New York, and that's what I intend to do. Those who supported me or didn't support me, that's over with now. Now I am the representative, and I'm the congressman from the 25th district, so I am the representative for all the people. We'll have earlier this year we made a pledge to the district, the Compact 25, and I'll continue to keep that pledge, that I'll be accessible, accountable, responsible, and independent. And that's not just for those who supported me, but for everyone who lives in the district.